You have to land the Frisbee on top of the hole?
No, they have a special hole. We'll learn all about that later. But first, let's head on into the newsroom.
Stop the music. It's time for news.
Everything you'd ever want to know about drones in the dronosphere. Let's head on over to Drone News Central with Jeff Sills. What's happening, buddy?
Oh, we got great news for you guys this week. All sorts of stuff from across the world.
Can you get closer to your microphone or turn it up?
Yes.
There we go.
Is it working any better?
That's good. Yes. Thank you.
Okay. So, to start the news off first, French inventor and former jet ski champion Franky Zapata made a second attempt to cross the English Channel on his jet-powered hoverboard, and on Sunday was able to make it across.
That looks like all kinds of fun, but you know it's difficult to fly, right?
Well, but think about this. He flew for 22 minutes, reaching speeds of 110 miles an hour, flying 65 feet in the air across the English Channel, being followed by 3 helicopters.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to do that, you remember the jetpacks? Jetpacks could only fly for what, 3 minutes at a time, and they used some like compressed hydrogen something or other. And this dude, 22 minutes. That's great. Man,
yeah, this is a great proof of concept of this vehicle. A lot of people always thought it was just a gimmick, but that's the first proof that this thing has some real world endurance.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Did you notice Jed Martin, one of the people in the chat with a name like that, said I would ride that?
Yeah. Yeah. And Chris Zvolinin, Chris Z, $3 super chat. Thanks, Chris. If you don't interrupt the news. Oh, gotcha. Well, see what you did there, Chris. You made me interrupt the news with your super chat, and I think Jeff's okay with that, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right.
Okay, so next we have an advance in drone farming. A group of people have introduced a drone that can plant 30 kilos of seeds in under an hour.
Okay, before mag-direct seed, na-map out na sa computer kung ang left, ang width sang area. So siya na lang yan nagalibot-libot, daw robot, na siya kabalo na siya kundi siya malibot.
So she started out with English and then just kind of said, nah, forget it. But this is a really cool thing. Drones are everywhere. They're here to stay, and they're doing good things.
Yeah, this one's pretty impressive because of the payload that it can carry and what it can deliver. Okay, so next we have, what not to do if you're a country instigating or instituting a new drone program. India was considered to be one of the pioneers initially with the drone programs. They were developing great infrastructure. They were going to, be promoting drone use. They were changing their laws to enhance the use of drones, and they were touting themselves as being the model that the rest of the world should follow. But that's not what's happening. Their plans to monitor drone flights has seen absolutely no development. The government mandated training centers and the test labs and the drone regulations, they're not functional yet. And it's going to take 6 to 12 months before any of these regulations even become functional. And this is adversely impacting any of the companies in India that wanted to actually start up a drone program. A lot of people had invested in India to start up drone businesses, and now they're basically stuck having to wait. So lesson learned in, the improper way of instituting a drone program in your country.
So, Jeff, I have to ask your permission to interrupt the news for just a moment, because we got a couple of...
You have my permission. Yes.
Okay, thanks. Hey, Anubis Arts, TJ Grady, $5 super chat. That's crazy cool. I'd ride that. I think he's talking about the, crossing the English Channel on that jetpack thing.
Jetpack.
Jeff, you rock. You rock, Jeff. And the grumpy vlogger, hey, Grumps. Does Jeff have a pink Captain America shield behind him? Is that what that is?
Every single time that we do this, he always has to bring up the fact that that's a movie wheel. Okay, it's got different genres of movies on it. When the family can't decide what movie they want to watch, we spin it, and whatever it ends up on, that's the genre of movie we watch for our family movie night.
It's either that or part of your
pink Captain America shield. Yeah,
part of your pink Captain America Halloween costume.
Yeah,
gotcha.
Yeah. So, all right. Next in the news, a Navy jet pilot recently was interrupted landing his jet by a drone.
Oh
and
man.
Yeah, in the Boca Chica Bridge key areas in the Keys, he was in the process of landing. He was about 800 feet and was forced to deviate from his landing path because they saw a drone that was, I guess, in the area. Police have scoured all over the place. As of Wednesday, there's been no information as to them being able to find the drone operator responsible for this. But, flying a drone near an airport's one thing. Flying a drone near an airbase with armed aircraft, not exactly the smartest move in the world.
Right.
So,
there's a base in Huntsville, Alabama, and it's near the Space and Rocket Center. And so naturally, the huge Saturn rocket that's there is going to be drone attractant. And I filmed it myself. But that was way back. That was way back when you could. But they closed that down, and now, get this, they have permission to shoot you down. They're not going to arrest you. They're just going to fire. They're going to shoot your drone down. That's it. You fly over that base.
What with?
Huh? Not anything worth more than the drone itself, I imagine. They're not going to fire a Hellfire missile. It costs $100,000.
No, they've got those new laser systems.
Oh yeah,
with one of those.
That's true. Yeah.
So, all right. So next in the news, NEC has decided that they want to get in on the passenger drone market. So they introduced their passenger drone recently in Japan and gave us this wonderful video of their first short test flight.
Now I have to apologize in advance because there was some speaking going on in not my language. So I made some subtitles that may not correspond correctly to what they're saying. So if you speak the language, I apologize in advance. But for everyone else, this could be what they're saying.
ちょっと待って。それでは準備が整いましたので、飛行試験を開始します。この飛行試験が終わりましたら、正対展示ということで、中に入って緑の、芝生の外で、までなら、入れますので、そこから、撮影する時間を取りたいと思います。それでは試験開始でお願いします。
Oh, good wonky mode. At least it's not too loud. Jeff, tell us a little bit more about this. Jeff, do you have any more information about this? Jeff, tell us more. I'm sorry? Oh, okay. So yeah, they put it in wonky mode. Would you ride that?
Does it come with the umbilical cord and a little man walking behind to go and roll it out and keep it clear?
Right. Yeah. Right. No, I would not ride that. Yeah.
If it was a ride at an amusement park, yes. But as for a personal transport device, no, I don't think it's ready.
No.
So on the same vein, though, there's another portion of the industry working on, I guess, flying vehicles that people can ride in, and the power that they want to use is not going to be coming from batteries or gas-powered engines. They're going to be using hydrogen, and they want to make a hydrogen-powered electric flying vehicle. Now, admittedly, this is years away from being, a reality. But
Jeff, truth be told, a hydrogen-powered flying vehicle was already a reality back in the 30s, and I think it was called the Hindenburg. I'm just saying, hey, history buffs, it's already been done. Back to you in the newsroom.
Okay.
Oh, the humanity.
All right. So history was made recently. The first ever FAA-approved beyond visual line of sight drone flight was completed recently in Alaska. This is part of the UAS integration pilot program. The University of Alaska was involved in it, as well as Microsoft. And they flew a drone for it's 3.87 miles. And it was completely beyond visual line of sight. There were no spotters. It was completely automated, and the drone flew the entire path down this, I guess it's a pipeline.
Yeah.
With no issues whatsoever, and landed at the end. So proof of concept that they can use this type of system to be able to, I guess, do inspections on long sections of pipeline over great distances. And with the FAA approval, we'll see more and more drones being brought into this particular market.
Very good. I think some of the rules will fall by the wayside. I think eventually, once, 10 years from now, we'll be able to fly at night all the time. We'll be able to fly over people. People will start trusting drones more. You know what I mean?
Well, and the commercial market is where a lot of the groundbreaking work is being done right now. So as we see more and more of these things get accomplished and be proven as proof of concept within the commercial industry, then that starts trickling back down to us. Because if you remember, Lance, for instance, was originally designed for the commercial industry, but now Lance is available to general hobbyists. So it's all good. It's all good stuff.
I'm sorry. Every time I hear the word Lance, I think of my roommate, Lance. He was my roommate in college in my sophomore year in Texas. At Stephen F. Austin State University, I think of Lance. He had horrible breath. You know, the kind of breath where, like, and by the way, oh, hey, the drone trucker. Hey, drone trucker, thank you so much. What do you call a trucker that doesn't drive anymore? Semi-retired. Ah! I like that one. That's awesome. What was I talking about? Oh, Lance's breath. Oh, man. You know the kind of breath that, like, when you get near somebody and they don't know it, and you can't figure out how they don't know they're dying from the inside, and they're like, you're pretty sure you see vapors. You know, like when you're looking down a hot road and it's kind of, like a mirage. That's what his face was like most of the time, just because of the vapors would come out. Oh, and we had bunk beds, and let me tell you, I mean, I asked him to sleep on his stomach just so that he could breathe into his pillow, because I was dying most of. I'm sorry. Was this a news interruption? My bad.
Oh.
I feel awful about that, but I think it's important that the world know about Lance's breath. And Lance, if you're watching, buddy, mint. Back to you.
Okay, so next in the news, this one I'm actually really excited about. SkyDo, our famous American company that brought us the SkyDo 1, who made the first drone that could fly through pretty much anything, it seemed like, without crashing into it, has recently introduced the footage for the SkyDo 2, which is their next version of the drone.
Yeah.
And this was test footage that was taken to display or give the impression as to how this drone can avoid things. But what I found interesting about the video,
look at this,
was dust footage.
That's the shadow of it. It doesn't look. It looks like a Mavic or something, like any other kind of drone. Okay.
This does not have the same form as the original SkyDo. It doesn't have that box around it, etc. So it's much more of an open format looking drone. I'm guessing that it's also possibly, based on the way that looks, possibly that it could be foldable. I mean, there is an opportunity for SkyDo to take their technology that lets drones avoid pretty much anything and put it into a small form factor that is competitive with DJI.
The footage looks great.
Yeah.
And I know they don't have the original one didn't have a mechanical gimbal, did it? It didn't, did it?
No. It did not have a mechanical gimbal.
That was really impressive.
So some of the things that are complete speculation right now is that it will have a remote, that it will be a smaller form factor, which obviously the shadow kind of confirms that, but that it'll also be priced considerably less than
good.
the original price. So Fingers crossed that SkyDo brings this out to market exactly the way we expect it to, because this would give DJI a serious run for their money for a while.
Yeah, that would be good. And DJI needs the competition, don't they?
Needs the competition, most definitely.
I mean, we were.
So next in the news.
I'm sorry. Sorry. Go ahead.
All right. So next in the news, we have, I guess, an interesting use of a drone, which when I found it, I just had to kind of double take for a minute. But a group in France has generated a drone that makes graffiti.
Yeah, and here's some of the images that the drone made. Now, is this a program like a cluster drone from a computer drawing this, or is this a person on the ground doing it?
Unfortunately, the original article was all in French, so trying to get a lot of the information out of it was a little difficult. But it is most definitely something that is a combination of, I guess, human interaction as well as programming. The simple fact that they're using this to do this type of artwork shows, one, the incredible level of control that this drone has to be able to do this. But two, it's yet another creative way of being able to use a drone, because, you know, the Sixtine Chapel and stuff like that, you know, they were painted with a guy lying on his back. Here's a drone that can do a whole, you know, mural on a wall. So
right. Now that's really cool. That's interesting.
I saw something like that once before. There was something that Disney were producing. They had their version of a graffiti drone, and it had a whole bunch of pipes hanging out with different colors of paint, and they were experimenting on using that for painting their murals. But this, without all of that extra baggage, I think looks interesting. It looks good.
Yeah, and I remember seeing people taking Phantom 2s and strapping paint to them and kind of doing non-sanctioned graffiti back in the early days, back in the Wild West days, pew pew, of drones.
Now, the next story, this one, Ken, I don't think was actually on our list. So I'm just going to stick this one in real quick.
Okay.
There has been recently a new patent put out by DJI.
Boom!
Where they're going to be bringing out a Hasselblad X1D clone.
That's interesting.
So I really am impressed with this, because, you know, DJI did become the majority stakeholder in Hasselblad when they introduced the camera in the Mavic 2. So for them to like turn around and jump into yet another market to compete with, and taking what is considered to be a really good form factor and improving on it, that's going to be pretty cool. I look forward to seeing what this happens.
Yeah, the name DJI, it's all over the place on all sorts of things. Is there DJI clothing yet? Is there a DJI fashion line? You know? There has to be.
On Amazon, yeah, I can find DJI clothes.
Oh, look, here we come down the runway. We have the propeller girl. She's looking good. Look at her go. There you go. That's how you do it. Work it, work it. And I'm spent.
All right. So next in the news, we have in the UAE, or the United Emirates, they're working with, I guess, drone mapping to be able to do surveys for wildlife and trees. Because the country's mostly a desert, I can't imagine this is going to be too difficult, but they had a a really interesting looking drone that they used to be able to map this out. And the surveys that they're doing have already covered over 550 square miles. And primarily it's been covering the agricultural lands around Dubai and Sharjah and some of the surrounding provinces.
What were those cities again, Jeff?
Dubai, Sharjah, Ajman, and Al Quwain.
Closer than I would have gotten it.
I thought you were clearing your throat there.
No. That's more northern Africa. That's the.
Oh right, yeah, in the city of. Right.
Yeah.
Is that just a parrot disco? I was just looking at that and trying to work out what drone it is. It looked like a disco.
No, it's definitely a flying wing, but it looks like it's something that is...
Not disco. What's the other one? The other parrot one.
The bebop?
No. There's.
But it looks like a parrot. It looks like a parrot drone that's just off the shelf. It looks like a ready to fly.
And why not? It would be cheaper that way, wouldn't it?
Who knows? This is the United Emirates. They tend to just buy whatever happens to be the best on the market at the time. So.
Yeah, they're not going to run out of money.
All right, so the last story for tonight, and this is the one that I think was the most entertaining of all of them. A gentleman recently decided it'd be a great idea to use his Phantom to film the Chugwater tornado. And this is the result.
Yeah. Not advisable, by the way.
What's happening? The map? I'm going back towards me. Okay, so I'm looping around. I am looping around the tornado according to the map on the GPS, and I am having trouble getting closer to it. Oh man, if only the rain wasn't hitting the lens. Come on, get closer. Get closer. Wow, that is just, it's almost, yeah, that tornado is beautiful. It's almost stovepipe. Oh, come on. Come on. Get in it! I've been wanting to do this for years! Come on!
He sounds excited, doesn't he?
Looping around it! There it is! Oh my goodness! Alright, Drone, it's been nice knowing you! Okay. Oh, no, don't lose signal! No! Why are you losing signal? No!
When you start sounding like a Muppet, you know good things are happening, right? I mean,
Oh, yeah.
that kid was excited. And he did end up getting in there, and it trashed his drone.
Yes, and if you get a chance to actually search out the Chugwater tornado video, at the very end, he actually retrieved the footage from the drone as it passed through the tornado and then was gently tossed into a field.
And he had his telephone strapped to it as well, filming.
Yes.
So it's unstable because of the heaviness of the phone. Plus, I mean, hey, if you have that kind of money to just throw your technology into tornadoes, go ahead. Clearly, that dude's living at home and not paying rent if he can afford to just throw his stuff into storms. I'm just kidding. Yeah. If he's watching, that was awesome, and I wish I had thought of it. That's really great.
Great stuff.
Yeah.
Great stuff.
Mike Young, RSP Drone Photography, thank you so much. $5 super chat. Wow, that drone looks like something else. Talking about the other one, the previous one. Yeah. And, something that flies around. That we see in trees. Yeah, drones. Yeah, we love them. Yeah. So, Jeff, is that all the news we got?
That's all the news we got.
All right. So there's no more news?
No more news.
No more news. So at this point, the news can't be interrupted.
No.
Right?
News can't be interrupted.
All right.
Oh, well, everybody's heard about the bird. Bird. The bird's a winner, well, a bird. Bird is a winner, well, a bird. Well, a bird is a winner, well, a bird. The bird's a winner, well, a bird. Well, a bird is a winner.
I was asked by several people not to interrupt the news. And I think I held up my end of that. Did I not?
Yes. Yeah, you held that up pretty good.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you so much, Jeff. You know we love you.
Thank you very much, sir. Always a pleasure. And I'm glad you guys enjoy the news.
All right. Until next time.
Thanks for stopping by. Now get out.
Ah, that Jeff. Gotta love that Jeff. You know, I bet Jeff has good breath. I bet his breath is better than my old roommate's.